Hello everybody, Corey here. We're going to do the daily roundup of the YieldMax single stock ETFs and YBIT. And I also have a little bit of the others too, ALT, YMAX, and YMAG. I never mention it, but I do have some of that stock information in here too. But if you watch, you already know that. So anyway, just a reminder, I am not a qualified licensed investment or financial advisor. I just gather data, present it to you so you can be more informed. YieldMax ETFs are extremely risky. Please make sure you've researched these, read the prospectus, understand the risk involved, and the loss of capital in these ETFs. All right, so here we go. And this is for Thursday, July 18th. So we have a summary of all the trades here. I'm not sure why these two are the exact same dollar amount. Unless my data check formula is off. Actually, I know why, because this is the long call and it doesn't have a column. And that is the correct total. But anyway, so here's all of these if you want to see them. So as the norm with this, as we go through, I'm not going to read every single one of these for all 20-something, almost 30 ETFs. I know y'all don't mean to do that, so just make sure you pause the video, find the ETF you want, and look for the data you want. Try to make this video somewhat short here. So there's all the trades there. Column C, that's the premium that they received of the short call trades. And then D is all of the short trade, short call or short put, sorry. And then we have all the synthetic trades and then the total of the trades. And then the data check, that's usually just for me to make sure I didn't miss any, or nothing was missed. But for the pink ones, which are the short ones, that's the long calls for those. But anyway, we have the net assets and the outstanding shares here for all the YieldMax ETFs. And then we have the current stock price, the NAV, and then the difference between those. Again, make sure pause in here if you want to stop and look at these. And then here we have the yesterday's close, today's, and then the difference, and then the percentage of change here. So anything that's more than 2% change, which is usually not that many, but we have quite a few the last couple of days. So we have AIYY down 4%, AMD, AMC, and Apple down 2%. Coney was down 6%. Phoebe was up 3%. JPMO down 3%. Murni down 2%. NVIDIA was up 2%. PayPay down 2%. Snowy down 4%. Squee down 3%. Fiat was up 7%. And then we have Ulti down 3% today. As far as the underlying go here, AI was down 5%. AMD, Amazon, and Apple were down 2%. Coin was down 6%. Meta was up 3%. Alphabet was down 2%. JP Morgan was down 3%. Murni and MicroStrategy were down 2%. NVIDIA was up 3%. ARK down 4%, along with Snow. And then PayPal was down 2%. Block down 5%, and Bitto was down 2%. We also have the IVs here for all of these if you would like to see those. And I'm going to hide this so we can look at the differences between the differences. All right, so looking here, anything outside 2%, we have ARK. So OARK was down 1%, while ARK was down 4%. So OARK did 3% better than ARK. And then we have Squee being down 3%, while Block was down 5%. So Squee did 2% better than Block. And then as you can see here, we had 19 of the YieldMax ETFs do better than their underlying, and we had 4 of the underlying do better than the YieldMax ETFs, which were Disney, Meta, Nvidia, and Exxon. And then we can see down at the bottom, S&P was down 0.78%, and the NASDAQ 100 was down 0.48%. And then if we move on, and we have our recovery information for the distributions here. So yesterday I made the comment about how a lot of these are still shown as recovered. And today, not so much. But looking here, you see AMDY, they are now down 167% of the last distribution. So the last distribution was 73 cents. So they're down $1.23, which equals negative 167%. I know somebody asked me that question on what the formula was here. And this is the recovery for that dividend, right? So just to talk through this, especially for any of you that are new, we have here the day before the stock dropped for the distribution, so that closed at 1742. We're currently at 1546, so the difference between those is $1.96. Of course, the last distribution was 73 cents, so it dropped by the 73 cents, and it's dropped an additional $1.23. So it has dropped 167% of the last dividend. Of course, you can see here it did recover after day 2, and it was actually the second set to, let's see, it's actually the second one because none of the rest of them recovered on day 2. But as of today, it's not looking good. Same thing with Phoebe. I'm not even sure what happened there, but it's almost down 200%. Of the last distribution, and you can see that easily here because the last dividend was 70 cents. So if it had dropped the additional amount of that, it would be $1.40, and it's $1.39. And then just another way, so if it, just trying to explain so you can visualize it in your head. Of course, if it was, if we weren't down any additional, we were only down the 70 cents, then our recovery would be 0 at this point, right? It would be 0% because we hadn't recovered any of it. But unfortunately, in this case, we're down an additional 197%. Of course, we have some that are even worse. GUI here, negative 210%, because you can see here it was 47, and we're down an additional 98 cents. Same thing here. It was this MSFO was 38-cent distribution, and we're down an additional $1, making it down negative 259% of the last distribution. Of course, it says last div at the top. It's just shorter. And then we have Tesla down here. So it's almost, you see it was like a 1 cent down extra. So it's negative 1%. All right. And then if you look down here, some of these look really bad. I think they look just as bad yesterday, like YMAG here. Its distribution was 64 cents, but it's down, and not on top of the 64 cents, it's down an additional 65 cents, making it down a total of $1.29. So it's down 103% of its last distribution, and which was just the other day, right? So for anybody that bought in, before that distribution or the day of the declaration, it wasn't very beneficial because they're down now twice the amount. Yeah, they got the distribution, but now they're also down more there. But anyway, sorry, I don't usually spend that much time on this section, but I do know we have some new people, and I just wanted to make sure, we understand what this is. And I can change this, it's no problem. This is just the way it's been for months now, but we can always change this up, move it around if need be. This was just initially how I built it, and nobody's requested any changes since I put that there, so no big deal though. Let me know if y'all have any more questions with that. So here, this is our max strike prices for our short calls and short puts here. Again, this is just, take it with a grain of salt, right? Because some of these have 3, 4, strike prices, and the majority of the contracts could be at the lower strike prices. These higher ones could be meaningless, right? They could have a small amount. This is just to give you a quick overview. Of course, if you want to see more in depth of all the strike prices and everything, you would look on the trades and holdings video for all of that. But here you can see that because the market's been so negative, that none of these are over their strike prices as of today. I think at the beginning of the week we had 6 over their strike prices. I think yesterday we still had, we had a couple yesterday. And then the day before that, we had 6 there. So, and then, of course, the columns AO and AP just shows how this affects the stock price for the YieldMax ETF. How many cents it's down, due to the short calls, and then the percentage. And then we have the same thing here for the synthetic positions. Let's see which one's the worst. So YBIT at the very bottom is actually the worst, but it's not really a great example. So let's look at AMDY. We have the synthetic strike price of 185. The stock price is actually underneath that, $29 or 16%. And then because of that, it's bringing the stock price down $2.80 or 18%. So that's just how to read that. And I'll just zoom out a little bit to get that in one screenshot there for you. If y'all want to pause the video and look at the ETFs you want to look at here. And we have a few, few little things going on today with the holdings and some trades and stuff, but nothing too crazy. But anyway, I hope y'all got something from this, or from the trades and holdings and everything. But I'll talk to you later. Thanks. Bye.